Today, I'm really excited to be talking to you about simple steps to creating a sales funnel for your business. Today, we're going to cover the basics of creating a sales funnel and a step-by-step process of the tools that you need to create it. So along the way, I'm going to offer you some tools, and I know this is actually a great follow-up to our Foundational Friday where we talked about landing pages. So let's get started. What is a sales funnel? A sales funnel, really marketing funnel, you can call it a conversion funnel. It is the path that your prospect, so that potential customer, that prospect that maybe is the first person on your email list or to your webinar, takes them through from sign up to ultimately, the ultimate goal is conversion, right? And we all love conversions. Why? Because there's so many things that come from conversion, whether it be our email growth or better yet, our revenue funnel. So when you talk about kind of the sales funnel, you really break it down into the customer journey. And I think as you're building your online business, one of the things is that you're always talking about all these resources today. We have social media, we have landing pages, we have websites, we have all these things. But at the end of the day, it really is about the customer journey from the beginning stages. So they call the first stage, which is the top of the funnel, awareness. And this is the place where they're going to first learn about your business. This is where you're going to make your first impression, which can be everlasting, right? First impressions are really important. And it's going to go through kind of the stages where you have your middle of the funnel and at a decision stage. And really, one of the most important things, and kind of from marketing in the past, marketing used to really be about, yes, it was about awareness, but it was really about getting those prospects in, prospecting, where today's type of marketing, it is about getting your prospects in. It's about building their trust. It's about getting them to purchase from you by building that trust. But at the end of the day, it is about retention. And that's the last kind of stage of after the bottom of the funnel on that purchase. Now you've worked really hard to get them there, but you don't want to retain them. So let's break down kind of the stages. Your awareness stage, again, is the top of the funnel. It's early in the journey where people are still really identifying what their challenge is. They might be doing searches on Google and trying to understand more about what types of resources are out for them. They have lots of questions, and some of them don't really know what their problem is and kind of what they need to solve it. They're more like symptoms, right? They're like, hey, I'm for whatever reason, I can't fix this leak in my sink, or you know what, I can't create a process for my business, or I don't know how to build a YouTube channel. So it's really kind of that awareness stage is top of the funnel, and it's where your prospect is educating themselves and looking to be able to find a place that they're able to get their questions answered and their problem solved. So one of the things as you start to kind of think about the staging and what types of content, when you talk about awareness stage, a lot of times top of funnel content is like blog posts. It might be a guest blog post. It could be infographics. It could be a podcast. It could be Webinar Wednesday, for example. It could be videos. It could be the homepage on your website. It's really one of those things where that's the place where you're going to talk and give solutions to answering the problems so people can learn about how you can help them. So awareness is going to be your top of the funnel. This is where you're reaching your target audience. The next stage of the funnel is consideration. Consideration is considered the middle of the funnel. And you'll find that there's different names to kind of sales funnels. They're slightly different words that people use. And this is kind of what I use in terms of defining my sales funnel. So I do want to say that because I know, sometimes consideration could be another name that people use for their sales funnel. But middle of the funnel, it's a stage where you're working with people that have started to build trust. They've defined their problem, right? They actually understand now what they're looking for, and now they're shopping for the right solution. and they want to know who's the better person out there to educate with me, who's the person that resonates with me. They're not generic questions anymore. They're very specific. And instead of asking why questions, what's happening is they're diving into a range of opportunities to remedy the struggle, right? So everything we're doing when we're putting out marketing output, we're giving people solutions to solve their problems. So in the consideration stage, now they're at a place where they know specifically what their problems are and they're shopping for the right solution. So think about kind of creating that connection, right? You have to look in your business and in your audience, how you can connect with your audience past the awareness stage that now they're in consideration that you are going to be the right choice for them. It's not a one size fits all campaign, but a really kind of a quick win, right? So the win could be where you might be offering an ebook that is helping solve their sleep issues. It could be that they want to set up their YouTube channel, and that's what's on Webinar Wednesday. They're going to sign up for that. And in my research and kind of just seeing what others were doing, Neil Patel had a great example. He actually used Walgreens Pharmacy as an example. And one of the biggest things that they're well known for in their marketing is they're listening to their customers and not really guessing what people want. So they were actually one of the first pharmacies to offer a drive-through solution for picking up prescriptions, right? And so that helped in driving traffic. And then clearly, it's too bad they couldn't trademark it and make money from it, but other pharmacies follow suit. And then they also had where they had a lot of cultural diversity of backgrounds coming in with different language barriers. And so what they did was they recognized that people were having trouble reading prescription pamphlets, and they printed all of their prescriptions in 14 different languages to accommodate what their audience needed. So do you see the trend here? When people have made a choice to, after that awareness stage and they get into consideration, they are looking for somebody that's helping to solve those problems. One other thing was that Walgreens, when we have this healthy lifestyle now. So what they did was they purged their shelves of tobacco products. So you need to listen to your audience, and that's going to help you to drive people to the next stage of the funnel. One of the things you definitely want to avoid, though, is that you kind of in that consideration stage, whatever you're offering, that you're delivering on what you promised, right? Because you have your awareness where that's first impression. Now they're to the next stage and they're looking at you to solve that problem, and you might be that problem solver for them. But if you're telling them you can help them, you need to make sure that if they move to the next section of kind of making that decision to purchase from you, that there's not a disconnect and that there's very clear expectations. And I use that from a perspective, if you were using social advertising, or if you were having calls to action on a landing page and you were telling them, I'm going to give you a checklist or the how to build your YouTube channel, and they click on the next step and it's 9 ways to get more subscribers. Yes, to your YouTube channel. Yes, that can help with your YouTube channel. But if I'm telling you I'm going to help you to set up your YouTube channel, and I've already moved past that on the next, and I don't know how to set up my YouTube channel, how am I going to build my subscribers? So make sure that in that consideration stage that you're definitely setting those expectations that you are the person to solve their problem, and you're going to deliver on that. The next stage is decision. This is where they're going to pull the trigger and they're going to make a decision. This is considered the bottom of the funnel. And this is where people are highly interested. And you are at a place in kind of what you're giving to them in terms of content delivery that they're going to want to buy. They're going to pull the trigger. This is, one of the things that you need to think about is what type of content is going to drive that decision. So for example, and I'm using our Gray Wave, and I'm actually going to show you a sample soon, but We Are the Gray Wave is our sales page for our Gray Wave membership. And we've done okay adding new members through it, but we're always looking to improve because of analytics and all of that good stuff. And one of the things that we're adding is a FAQ, frequently asked questions page. We're also adding a place where people can schedule an appointment so they can learn more about the gray wave or ask questions that they have. You may want to look at, in this decision phase, when people are there and they're about to make a decision, maybe having a video. Look at ways that you can attract people and make the decision easy for them, right? That's the goal. Give them features of whatever your product is, testimonials, social proof that your product is the best one. So you have your awareness, top of funnel, consideration is middle funnel, and then you have your decision where they're going to pull the trigger and they're going to purchase. The next piece is kind of outside of the funnel, but again, it's really important, is retaining your client. Your prospect has now converted, but this, friends, could be one of the most important pieces, right? Because now you've earned their trust, and now you need to deliver on that trust and build that relationship and foster it. You know, if you think about it from an onboarding perspective, so you have all these phases in your sales process, when new customers are greeted coming in after they've purchased a product and they've had a great experience, they are going to be loyal. They're going to be your brand ambassadors. You want to make sure that you've set that relationship up for success, personal attention, make sure they have all the resources they need, make sure that they're confident in what they've purchased, because they're more likely to pass that on. They're going to give you a review. If your new customers experience disappointment after the purchase, what happens? You know, I think we've all been in a situation where it hasn't been a great experience on some level. Now, that's not to say mistakes don't happen and somebody's had a bad day, but at the end of the day, your goal when you are taking the time to build your sales funnel, you want to make sure that you're giving great impressions, that you are building that trust, and people are going to return and keep coming back and keep coming back. They're not going to request a refund. They're not going to write a negative review for you. And you know, there's so much things that you can do to facilitate having a good kind of after sale experience, making sure that you're educating them, making sure they know that where they can find you, adding additional content to whatever you're delivering on, and just giving great customer service. Zappos, I don't know if any of you have ever purchased from Zappos, but they have a great online experience. From the moment you call, they're very friendly if you have to talk to them on the phone. And they always, like if you have an issue, they always resolve it. That is what they're based on, is great customer service. So think about kind of as you're looking at how to build your sales funnel and the important elements of what those phases are: top of funnel, mid funnel, end of funnel, and important, retain them. Send a thank you note if it's appropriate. You know, make sure that you're setting yourself up for success. All right, so one of the things you absolutely at every stage, whether you're awareness, consideration, decision, or retention, you want to make sure you're asking yourself some of these questions. How will customers find me at this stage? You know, how will they find me? What kind of information do I need to give them to help move them along the sales funnel? So, all right, now they're aware of me. They're kind of in that consideration. They're considering me. I'm in the running. And what's going to move them to make the decision and pull the trigger to purchase from me? How will I know if they've moved to the next stage? So that's part of kind of, we're going to start talking about setting up your funnel. And that's something you need to be aware of. How do we make the customer more aware of our brand? Are you getting them to your social media channels? How are you making sure that you're staying top of mind awareness in their brand? Are you reaching out to them? Are you emailing them? Are you acknowledging them when they join your group? How do you entice them with an irresistible offer? So clearly every business has different ways that they do their sales. Some offer a bonus, some offer a timed offer. Everybody does things differently. Everybody kind of knows Steve's mentality here at Dotto Tech, and he, people on our list get the best price, but we don't, and no one will ever get a lower price than the people that are in our community to begin with. and he doesn't do a lot of bonuses or things like that. It is what it is, and that's how he delivers, and that's his personality. Whereas some people will, they will set up their sales funnel where you go to a landing page and you buy something, and the next page says, oh, but wait a minute, if you add this, you can become a VIP, or oh, if you add this for $10, you're going to get 3 more products to add to this. So again, asking yourself at every stage what you're comfortable in your sales process of helping get people to sign on to you and also stay with you. And then think about kind of how you recognize and anticipate their needs. You, as you're building your business, one of the first things that you're always going to do in your business is really kind of start to figure out your target audience. You want to make sure that you're listening. Listen to what people are saying about your brand. Listen to people's experience. I can tell you that there's times when we've sent too much email and people have told us. And so then we look at and we scale back. We look at our analytics to drive those because, we have a decent sized list. So if we're only getting 2 people that say it's not valuable information to us, but we'll segment them and we'll make sure that they get less email if we're doing a sales on a product or a course. So these are questions to be asking yourself at each stage to help you be more effective in kind of building that trust and, again, sending them to the finish line. So what do you need to set up your sales funnel? Well, the good news is Liz did a really great training on landing pages. So the first thing you are going to create is your sales landing page. And really the goal at the end of the day, now keep that in mind, this is your sales landing page. And the reason that I recommend setting up your sales landing page first is because this is where you're going to lay out your product and your service. And it's a place where you are going to set that up. That's going to help to drive other things of copy that you might have for your email sales funnel, those type of things. But you're going to create your sales landing page. You're going to want to make sure you have a clear, concise, action-orientated headline. So that call to action, that CTA. You want to make sure that you outline the pain that you're solving, right? Because at the end of the day, you are solving their pain. You are helping them find a solution and give them a solution. And make sure that's clearly outlined in your sales page. Remove your site navigation from the top of your page. Your sales page should be, although it could be attached to your website, it should be a standalone page where when people land on that page, their goal is to stay there. It's not to open in another tab. It's not to get distracted. You want them to concentrate on exactly what you're selling them on that page. So landing pages typically standalone. You don't have navigation there. You want to think about your form and kind of what you need for information in that form to move them into the sale of your service or product. And I always would encourage you to include social sharing icons. Those are, absolutely something that you want them to tell their friends, right? You've already got them to this point. Now, if they purchase, even better, you're going to want to make sure that they can share it. One of the other things too is you might want to consider is buying a domain that is based on your product. So for example, for our Gray Wave membership, we are the Gray Wave. Again, consider a call, FAQ, and also think about any obstacles that as you're looking through your page that are going to cause hesitation. Is it the price? Is it too inexpensive? Or is it too expensive? Do you have payment options? Think about anything that is going to create an objection. You want to answer those objections in your sales page. Some of the tools you can use are Lead Pages, Unbounce. A lot of your email marketing and automation softwares have landing page tools in them. You can also, if you're in WordPress, and I know some other websites, they have places where you can also have a landing page opportunity. The next step is thinking about how you're going to drive traffic to your funnel. So this is great. You've created a sales page. One of the thoughts is, how am I going to get people there? So you can think about ads, right? Ads are, those are not an easy way, but it's a way for you to generate eyeballs pretty quickly on your sales page, right? So you can use Facebook ads. They're pretty cost effective. Or you could use Google ads, and it depends on your business because there's certain marketplaces that are higher than others, and Google ads can get high just as Facebook ads, but you have Twitter ads and you have LinkedIn ads. So really where your demographic is spending your time is where you want to think about spending your money for ads. Social media. Social media is a great place to push out content, right? Push out content, talk about, so when you're putting out sales on social media, you also have to think about from a perspective that you are still building trust and you want to build engagement. So I would encourage you to come up with, Canva, clearly a great tool, come up with a series of different images. So we're very lucky. We have Liz, who is like a rock star graphic designer, and she actually, she'll create a series of graphics that we use with different calls to action, and then I'll change the context in sharing the social posts. But think about content that you can push out. The other thing, kind of statistically, 48% of consumers will make a purchase or convert in some way if their customer questions are answered. So remember that. Do not overdo your social media and be in too many places if you can't be there. Be in the right social channels where you can connect with your audience and make sure that you have, that you're answering questions along the way. Content marketing, great way to drive traffic to your sales page. Emails, blog content, case studies is effective, if not more effective than social media. 66% of marketers report using blogs and other web content is their primary social media tool. So content marketing is key. We talk a lot about it here at Dotto Tech. We have lots of content that we deliver. We have videos, we have Webinar Wednesday, we have our podcast, we have our Gray Zone free Facebook group, we have our social media channels. We have lots of content that we deliver, which helps build relationships, which again is a place to drive people to our sales funnel, our resource, whatever we're trying to accomplish in our goals. The next thing you want to do is create a resource, kind of AKA a lead magnet, right? So this is where you're going to get people to hook into what kind of they may be looking for. So if it is how to build an online business, so for example, our Gray Wave, we have a webinar webhook where we're inviting you to our webinar, and we're looking for you to watch our webinar. And by signing up for our webinar, we're kind of doing a few things, right? We're collecting an email address. So now we have you into our CRM, our customer relational management tool, our marketing system. Now we can send you email. And now we can nurture you and tell you, build your trust and tell you a little bit more about Dotto Tech, some of the things we offer, and also about our Gray Wave membership. So lead magnets can be a great resource, and they should be part of your marketing funnel. And this here is really top of funnel, right? So your sales page is top of funnel in a way, but your lead magnet resource is definitely top of funnel. This would be on a landing page. So webinar, ebook, a checklist, a white paper. You want to make sure that your sign up is visually appealing, that you don't overdo it with calls to action, and that people can easily recognize, again, the problem that you're solving so they hit the button and convert. And on your lead magnets, you want to make sure that you make it simple for them to sign up. If there's too many hoops, too many clicks to get them to take action, they're going to fall off the bus. You want to make it like one click, right? So if you can embed your form in your lead magnet page, or it's just the pop-up that pops up on the page where they click sign up, usually a first name and an email address are more than enough. And as you foster that relationship in your email funnel, you'll be able to ask for more information. So first name and email. And you do have to make sure that you are asking explicit permission, that you tell them exactly what to expect now that they've signed up. Are they signing up to your newsletter as well? Have they checked off is there a box for them to check? And we kind of, when we're building email addresses and when we're building lead magnets, a lot of times, sometimes some of us, not every one of us, gets caught in, oh my gosh, I want to build all the kind of that old marketing way, build my lists. However, you really do want to consider using a double opt-in on your lead magnets. Here's why. What it does is it kind of helps make sure there's not an error on the email address, right? So they have to double opt in. It confirms the right email address. It's quality, right? Because now they've really raised their hand that they're interested in what you're offering in terms of your resource. The other thing too, it comes into like GDPR and privacy. This helps protect you. It tracks everything that they've double opt-in. So I would highly recommend you consider a double opt-in on all of your lead magnets. When they get to your sales page, that's a little bit different because there is an exchange of money. However, it's always good to double check the email, but because now they've paid you for a service or a product. Whereas your lead magnet, if you're just getting their email address, you want to make sure that you cover your bum and that that they've opted in. So your lead magnet, again, resource, webinar, it's some of the things that we use here at Dotto Tech. We have some great checklists. We have our YouTube launch sequence. We have a lot of free mini courses. We have Webinar Wednesday. We have Foundational Friday now, which is a list builder. So think about ways that you can build your list that build that trust that's going to get them to that sales page eventually in your email funnel, which we're going to talk about next. I want to be clear here because everybody uses lots of different tools. You can use a very simple email marketing tool. The one thing you want to make sure though is that it has some type of automated email responder to it, okay? So what I mean by that is if you are on MailChimp, you have to go on the paid version and there's an autoresponder where you can create timed emails that are automated, so they happen when you sleep. That doesn't mean it's set it and forget it because you always want to be checking analytics and making sure everything's working. However, it goes off in timed increments that you set. So Constant Contact, MailChimp, iContact are kind of your lower hanging fruit email marketing services. They're great to use, work great. Then you get into, Active Campaign, which we're using, Infusionsoft we use, Entreport, HubSpot. There's higher level marketing automation tools, which do a lot more, have a lot more bells and whistles. So an email marketing campaign, that's the one thing you want to make sure is that you're using an email marketing service that if you have to pay, you might have to pay to get that autoresponder. But basically what it does, it's going to deliver your lead magnet. So somebody has signed up for your webinar, you've sent them to a thank you page. If they signed up or if they came and they signed up for an ebook on sleep, they go to your thank you page, you might have it download right on the thank you page, but you always want to follow up with an email with your ebook attached because sometimes people miss the thank you page, they close it. You want to make sure that you send it to them in an email. So that would be what you would consider your first email, a welcome email, right? And a typical email campaign, when you kind of look at length, 5 emails is more than enough. In a marketing campaign that you're really trying to build some trust, timing is going to depend on your audience and you watching your metrics. But here's a quick example. Day 1, a welcome email that thanks them and showing interested in whatever you're delivering. Day 2 can be your email that offers another relevant lead magnet, or it can talk a little bit more about what you've talked about. It could be a video in there. Email 3 might have a testimonial about a product or service that's related to your lead magnet. So for example, the Gray Wave, you come into our webinar, you go into our sales funnel that has, not only does it solidify key points in our webinar, we talk about the Gray Wave. There is a sales pitch at the end of that webinar to join the Gray Wave. So we talk about that in our email content. Day 4 could have more stories. It also could have case studies. And again, more of a call to action of buying your product. Day 5, it's your final email that goes out. And again, this is email 5, day 5. You have to time it what's good for you. I don't know if you're having a sale that maybe it's a timed offer, but that's kind of your hard sell email. That's going to be your most email where you're going to be like, hey, it's the last call. Are you in or you're not? And if you're in, great. Press purchase and let's get started. So your email marketing campaign, you've got them into the lead magnet. Now you're nurturing them, building some trust, and now you're going to ask for the sale. And everybody's sales pitch is a little bit different. So again, you can use any tools that offer the autoresponder piece, and your email campaign is a huge part of that sales funnel and kind of taking it to the next level in your converting of your sales page. One of the things as you build your sales funnel and all that you do is really making sure that you have tracking. You're watching your traffic, you're tracking. And tracking and analytics really does drive smart marketing decisions. I've seen so many business owners that have all these tools, but they're using them, but they really don't know how well they're working for them because they're never looking at the analytics. You want to make sure you're looking at the analytics. I would encourage you to make sure whatever tool that you purchase or that you're using, get to know the reporting, get to know what analytics come with it, right? Because analytics is going to help you to know what's working and not. So you want to make sure that you A/B test. You know, you can A/B test your email subject lines. You might have to change time of day on your email subject lines. You might want to go back and look at your landing page and so your lead magnet landing page and where the call to action to have them convert, if you're not getting the conversions that you want on your sales page, if it's slow and sluggish, why? Is it your sales copy? Where are they clicking on the page? Where are people getting to on your sales page? So like your landing pages, you can have your pixels in there. You can have Google Analytics attached to them. Analytics is key to your success. You worked hard. Creating a sales funnel is a process. It's not easy. You put time and energy into it. And clearly your goal is to build revenue at the end of the day. It might be to get them on your list, but that that person on your list is going to help drive revenue for your business. So make sure you set yourself up for success and you take the time to learn the analytics. So I loved this quote from Edward. His name is Edward Tuft. If statistics are boring, you've got the wrong numbers. Isn't this true though? For anybody, and I'm a little bit of a data geek, but if you are looking at your analytics and they're pretty boring, something's not right, friend. Something is not right. You want to make sure that your analytics are improving, that your Facebook ads are improving, that your views are improving, that your conversions, the conversion button, remember the conversion button? That's an email list builder button. It's a purchase button. It's a revenue that you're building. So if statistics are boring, you definitely got the wrong numbers. Check out the analytics. All right, here is an example of our sales funnel for the Gray Wave. So this here is actually built-in lead pages by the brilliant Liz. And this is our sign up for our webinar that we have for people to join the webinar to actually learn about how to build your business, as well as it's also a lead magnet for us to get people to our Gray Wave membership. It's an opportunity for them to learn about kind of the 4 Ps of building an online business. And then really what we get into is all the things that you can learn as part of the Gray Wave membership. So you can tell this is built-in lead pages because you see the lead pages here. Call to action at the top, goes through, you can get instant access. And it goes through kind of the pieces that are in the webinar. Again, a call to action for instant access. We have testimonials, which is social proof of members that are already in the Gray Wave membership. And we're very fortunate. We have lots of testimonials there. Again, another call to action, a little bit about your host, Steve Dotto. And again, back up at the top. So what ends up happening is if somebody clicks here, they're going to get instant access. And this is an evergreen webinar, so I want to let you know that. And if people click on watch instant replay, or they can watch a a version of the webinar on March 11th where there's a live format to it. They enter their name here, an email, and we have made sure there's explicit permission by checking the box you're giving Dotto Tech consent to use your information you provide on this form and to invite you to the webinar, but also for us to follow up. So very clear, explicit information, which is super important. And if I were to pick Evergreen, enter my name, make it shorter here, check that box. And now what's going to happen, I'm going to hit get instant access. And I'm going to be sent, this can be either a thank you page or for this particular lead magnet, this is the webinar. So I have the opportunity to click for sound, watch my webinar, and there's also some other information about the webinar. Now, what essentially this lead magnet has now done is it's brought us to the next step of the sales funnel. And the goal of the lead magnet is to give a resource, sign up for a webinar, but it's also a way for you to start, clearly collect their email address, because that's a win, right? And there's money in that list. And then to nurture them through an email funnel. So for us at Dotto Tech, we are transitioning over to Active Campaign, and this funnel, this email marketing automation funnel is in Active Campaign. So once I've signed up, or a prospect has signed up and given their email address, they go into this automation funnel where it will put them into the webinar funnel. And basically you can see what we've done, in every email marketing platform or marketing automation funnel has a little bit of different functionality, but I just want to show you a little bit quickly about what this is. So it goes through, there's an email that's sent, and kind of there's a preview of it, has some testimonials in it. We have it set to wait for a few days, more email that's going out, and it's really reinforcing what's going on in the webinar. We have a third email, another email, which is email 4, email 5, and all along, because this is marketing automation, we're scoring it, which is a whole nother thing, but just kind of for the basics, just so you know, email marketing platforms, whether you're using MailChimp, Constant Contact, or you're in Active Campaign and Fusionsoft, they all have the ability to send emails from your lead magnet to nurture your funnel. So that could be what they call the autoresponder or a marketing automation campaign. And in these emails, there's a build up to the sales page, and there is a clickable link to go to our sales page, which is the next step, which is we are the gray wave. And earlier on, I mentioned that you may want to consider buying a specific URL, so it's custom to whatever sales you're trying to promote, whether it's a service, a membership, a product. And we are the gray wave, and that's everything that's been branded for our membership. And here's our sales page. So we go through, call to action to join. There's lots of pieces that are reinforcing building an online business. And we have some welcome, is it right? And kind of goes through really that problem. Like, our goal is to solve a person's problem. And if you go through, we have testimonials, kind of all the best practices of creating a converting sales page. And we also, you can see a catalog of some of our trainings. And it goes all the way down, talks about our Facebook Live, our Facebook group, and some more benefits. And it's a pretty long landing page, but if you notice throughout the landing page, there's different calls to action to purchase, right? So you can either go from down here that talks about our monthly or annual, or you can see these call to actions, yes, I am. And what's not on this page that you're not seeing yet, but we're actually adding exactly what I mentioned above, was that there's going to be a clickable button to schedule calls to answer questions. So schedule times to answer questions, and we're also adding an FAQ. So you can do this. Again, you have your lead magnet, which was our webinar. You have your email marketing campaign, whether it be an autoresponder in some email marketing platforms or marketing automation, and then you end up on your sales page. And this sales page has Google Analytics attached to it. Our email platform has analytics attached to it. Our conversion page from our sales page, lead pages has analytics, but we also have analytics of all the people that have viewed this. Those analytics drive our marketing decisions and help us make improvements and tweaks all the time. Thus, us adding calls, us adding FAQs to make sure that we're making sure whoever is coming to We Are the Gray Wave page signs up for the membership, because they're missing out if they don't. All right, I hope that is helpful. All right, friends, at the end of the day, you can do this. Building a sales funnel, as you come through Foundational Fridays and you've been through Webinar Wednesdays, and of course our Gray Wave members, our goal is to set you all up for success, right? And the key is that you need to have the confidence to know that you can do this. So let's review a little bit about what we talked about today. So you have your sales funnel stages, right? Stage 1 is your awareness. That's where you're reaching as big of a qualified audience as possible and increasing the awareness of your brand, right? This is the stage where people are still trying to figure out their problem, but you want to reach them with what you can do to solve their problem. And so that's your awareness stage. Stage 2 is consideration. That's where they're now saying, I'm going to consider purchasing service. There's something about that guy with the gray beard I saw him on a show long ago. No, I'm interested in considering buying from him because he seems like I can relate to him, or their solution is going to help me to add more revenue to my business, or that coaching program is going to take me to the next level in my business. So stage 2 is consideration. Stage 3 is decision. Dun, dun, dun. This is where they're going to make a decision to purchase from you or your competitor. So you want to make sure when they get to that stage that you're answering all of their questions and all of their wants, needs, and desires, essentially, to make them to convert into a purchase. Stage 4, I feel like, is one of those most important, probably least talked about stages, is kind of that retention piece. Client retention is important. They are your brand ambassadors on social media. Those are the people, your customers, your clients, that can make or break you and your brand, right? They could be, if they have a negative experience, they're going to talk about it. If they have a positive experience, they are going to rave about it and be your raving fans. So your goal as you build your kind of sales funnel, when you're looking at your stages, is also to spend the time retaining them. How are you going to continue to build that relationship and foster it and make sure they're having a great experience? And that way they'll stay with you and they will promote you, which will in turn pay it forward because it's going to bring you more business. All right. Then you talk about creating your sales funnel. You're going to create your landing pages. Your sales page. You're going to create your lead magnet page. You're going to think about what types of traffic that you're driving. You're going to drive traffic to that page. Is it going to be through ads? You want to think about the lead magnet that you're creating. Is it a webinar? Is it to draw people in so you can build that trust to get them to convert on that sales page? So is it a webinar? Is it a resource? Is it a white checklist? Is it a consultation? What is it? What is that lead magnet to get people into your funnel? And then you're going to want to make sure you set up your email marketing campaign. It's not one of those things that it's a set it and forget it. You want to make sure you set it, tweak it, make it better. Same with your sales pages, your landing page and your lead magnet page. You want to make sure that you're tweaking it and making it better. And then last but not least, don't forget those analytics. Analytics are going to be the key to your success. Set a date with yourself on Fridays or Mondays that you're just going to go in and you're going to look at the analytics, and then you're going to make a decision based on that. Is it time to A/B test your subject lines? Is it time to change your copy? Analytics drive great marketing decisions. So, all right, my friends, I hope this helped you in terms of getting your sales funnel set up, understanding the stages of the sales funnel cycle, as well as the kind of getting started and the tools that you need to create that sales funnel. It's time for questions.
That was good stuff. Everybody really enjoyed it. I loved the dialogue going on in the commentary. One of the takeaways is crafting a sales funnel is not just a It's not sitting down and writing an email. It takes a lot of time to put all of the different pieces in place when you consider all of the different parameters. The sales funnel that you showed that we are now running with to generate traffic for the gray wave. We started on that funnel. When did we start on it? I think we started on it in November. We started working on all of the pieces of it, and we've been working on it since then. It's like a 4 month process of putting all the pieces together, writing it, taking the pieces out of the webinar, crafting it, and then we started running cold. So just so you know, we started running Facebook ads to it. But what April said about the analytics is we are now about a month into running Facebook ads to drive traffic into this funnel. And the funnel is all of our lead magnets are working very well. By the way, the lead magnets for this are the 10 things I wish I knew before I started an online business. We have another lead magnet, which is a YouTube checklist of things that you want to do before you launch a YouTube video, and another checklist of things you want to do to optimize your blog posts. So we've got 3 different lead magnets that are in the content marketing space, and we're driving traffic to those. We found that 2 of those perform exceptionally well in Facebook, 1 not so well. So we've been learning and kind of modifying it as we go. We didn't architect the entire funnel and then just, as you say, set it and forget it. We've been monitoring the progress all the way along. Our lead funnels are generating great traction. Our click-through rates are wonderful. Our cost per lead is excellent. They're opening every email. We have over a 40% open rate on that email sequence, but we aren't converting sales yet. And so part of that is it takes 2 weeks for people to go through the funnel. But another part of it is, as we identified it, is the things that April just said. We didn't have an FAQ on our landing page, on our sales page, which we believe is going to help a lot. And the other thing is, because it's a fairly high ticket item getting into the gray wave, is we realize there probably has to be some touch. So that's why we're adding the ability for people to jump on a call with us to verify, just that it's the right fit for them. So we're hoping that those tweaks are going to then make the sales funnel start to convert at a reasonable level. Now we'll fill you guys in on how it goes as it goes along, but we're right now in the kind of the exciting and frustrating stage where we're getting lots of traffic, but we aren't yet at the payoff stage. But we have a lot of confidence that because we've done each step correct along the way, each phase is performing very well. So we've worked our way through the funnel and each stage is performing right to the very bottom part, which is where we just have to tweak that to get it working. So it's been a really exciting process. And it's really relevant, all the things that you talked about. But the measurement, you have to be able to measure and know exactly and understand what your goals are at each of those stages through it. I get excited about this because
it is. But the thing is that I want to be very clear, though, on because I know everybody's at different stages in their business. You don't have to have a huge budget to build a cost-effective sales funnel. So you can do a lot of use a active campaign at the lowest level, the MailChimp at the lowest level of payment, and build a funnel pretty easily. You have Canva as a tool for branding. They actually have great templates for checklists and white papers in there and covers. So I know everybody's at, and then, eventually I know we've talked about Facebook ads, and you don't need an overly huge budget to get started with a list builder to drive them to a sales funnel. So you can start on a pretty economical budget. It's time that's more the factor than anything.
It takes time, and and if we scare people off with that, it doesn't take time. It takes consideration. You have to think very clearly through each stage, and that getting clarity is typically speaking, it's not there. You have to work to get clarity, and the way you work to get the clarity is you listen, is you publish, you take a look at the results, and you listen, and then and don't get too hopeful about it. Don't take it personally. Of the 3 lead magnets that we built, the YouTube checklist, the blog checklist, and the 10 things I wish I knew before I started an online business, I thought the 10 things I wish I knew before I started an online business was freaking awesome, and the other 2 were just okay. Well, those 2 are performing light years better, and we've had to take the other lead magnet that I was vested in, and we haven't really mothballed it, but we're starting to use it for some other purposes now. And I didn't let my ego stand in the way of telling the ads people, no, this is the best lead magnet, push this one harder because I know it's good. We let the data tell us, and then we made the decisions based on that. And that's hard to do when you vest and work hard on any piece of content and you're proud of it. It's hard to have it rejected by the community. And so often it's the one that you say, okay, I'll do this one, I'm not sure about it. And that's the one that suddenly takes off. So it's,
and that's where it's that listening piece, right? Really, the analytics, how they give you the example and then you need to listen to that. And I love that about ego, because I definitely get upset by certain things. I'm like, but I worked so hard on that. How could they not like it?
Indeed. Ron Jung says, what's your opinion of using Doodle, Whiteboard, VSL on ads? VSL, I'm not sure what VSL is. Landing page.
They're video sales letters. So basically it's putting a video in a sales page.
Oh, okay. We love using any asset that works well for you. Doodle, if you've got the ability to create a kind of a whiteboard type video or explainer videos, those work tremendously well. The more that we often include videos because we're good at recording little screen demos and stuff like that. We always include videos on our sales pages, and it just creates a higher level of engagement. So absolutely.
What's a double opt-in look like? Lillian's asking. A double opt-in is when you have your sign-up form and they add their email address to your lead magnet. So they submit a form, and then what happens is before they officially get added to your list in your marketing automation or your email platform, they'll get delivered an email that they have to click on. There's a confirmation that they are accepting that, yes, they're opting into the email. What it does is it helps with spam. So it alleviates spam emails because sometimes we've actually had it happen to us where we've had a big dump of like Webinar Wednesday people signing up and there's a bunch of spam emails. It also qualifies your list a little bit more effectively because people really want it. They're going to take the time and opt into it to get on your list. So it makes your list a little bit more quality.
And in most of the world now, it's the law, GDPR, the can-spam laws, it's law. Now, a lot of people don't follow it, but here's the thing. You've got to pay attention to the wins, what's happening. Apple is adding all sorts of extra privacy to iOS. Google is talking about the same thing. We're seeing Facebook tracking pixel being marginalized and is kind of going to be removed from the system. Privacy is on the upswing, and where we respect our followers' privacy is by double opt-in, by not sending them email that they have not specifically indicated that they are interested in. So even though you can probably get away with it, and chances are you aren't going to run afoul of the law, it is just a good practice to do and to recognize that the world is moving towards it. We had somebody comment in the comments that it's a little bit frustrating that we have people opt in each time for each of our magnets and that it's not just automatic. That's the reason, is it comes down to the respect of privacy. And so it's well worth it's worth getting the right people on your list that you have respect for and respect you, rather than getting a big number of people that aren't necessarily interested. Donna has asked, what is Evergreen? And I know Dudley did a great job of explaining it in the chat, but April, do you want to just take a quick pass at what is Evergreen?
Sure. Evergreen is timeless content. So that means that it's content that it doesn't need to be updated as frequently. So for example, if I were to do an email funnel on Facebook business pages, that really is not the greatest evergreen funnel because Facebook changes so much. So something that's timely, that changes a lot, that's fluid, is not evergreen. Something where it's, that it's not going to change very frequently. Some of the foundational stuff of building your website could be an evergreen type of content. I don't know. Do you have any examples of evergreen content?
No, that's you've explained it exceptionally well. Things that you can create content and it still has values for weeks and for months. The YouTube videos that we publish, I always look for evergreen content that is going to have value on YouTube 2 years from now as much as it does today. because it takes just as much work to build it, but then it's got long legs and it stays with us for a long time.
One thing I would say is if you don't have Evergreen Content, make sure that you mark it on a calendar somewhere as a reminder to check it, because things change so quickly. And I actually personally have experience with this with online directories in an automated campaign where like 5 of the directories changed overnight and I didn't have a date and I had somebody tell me they were wrong, which is nothing worse than that.
Or you end up posting in social that it's somebody's birthday when it's not.
Oh yes, exactly. Smart.
Olivia and several people asked, because we were showcasing in the examples we were using Active Campaign, and people who follow us for a long time know that we have been longtime users of Infusionsoft, which is now called Keep. Yes, indeed, we are making a transition over. We're in the middle of it right now. There's a variety of reasons. We could have stayed within Infusionsoft without any problem, but our new campaigns are using something called respect-based marketing. We're following a new philosophy where we're incorporating little code snippets where we're spending more time crafting each email, but allowing it to be customized based on the feedback that we get from our community, and that works really well in Active Campaign. We can actually customize and personalize the email far more specifically to the interest and tailor our email funnel to the interests of the people as they sign up. When you sign up for one of our lead magnets now, we don't just send you the lead magnet. Our lead magnets actually require that you fill out a form and answer, I think, 9 questions, just so we can classify you and you know where you are in your journey and know what topics are most interesting to you. And then we take that information and we make sure that what we're sending you is in your sweet spot of things that you're interested in. We tailor it to you. That is doable in Active Campaign. Far more difficult in Infusionsoft, so that's the reason that we're transitioning. Just a good point by Gordon, which is encouraging. Research tells you that you need 7 touches to get a result, and most stop before that. Indeed, 7 of them. Yep. That is terrific. April, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Thanks so much for joining us. We hope that you found a lot of value in it. We'll see you next week.